Hey guys, how's it going? So you want to be able to do this, or this, or this, then this is a video for you. First off, am I the best screamer in the world? No. Do I claim to be the best singer in the world? No. Now enough with the bad acting. Let me just show you how to do this. First off, whenever attempting to try this, water, tea with honey in it, stuff, you drink this hours before you practice, before, during, after. Stay away from the sodas, the dairy products. The dairy products coat your throat, and the sodas, they have caffeine in them. They dry out your body, and that means your throat. So first off, for beginners, do not rush. And I've heard this scenario many a times. You can't scream, dude. Yeah, I can. Listen. And they can't talk for the rest of the week. So don't do that. So first, after you've warmed up, after you've drank a lot of water, well, with the warm-up, you're warming up like any singer ever would. Singing your scales, drinking your water, doing a lot of deep breaths, like and holding them in, and I really like this one. Just going up and down, and that'll come into play, especially with the screams later. So the first thing to really get the essence of what a scream is, I went with the whisper method. A lot of people advise against this, which is just starting out with a whisper and growing it until you can really feel it. Talking with people that don't do this right the first time, they use your throat, like doing a bad James Hetfield impersonation. Do not do. Do not use your voice. It is not from your voice. It actually comes completely, mostly, from your nasal passages, the actual base for the scream. So the way I like to approach it is thinking of how a falsetto works. La la la. Nice. And how like a falsetto mostly bases out of your nasal passages. So does a scream. So I like to start with a whisper. And the whisper, you just, and make sure you have a lot of saliva in the back of your throat. Make sure most of the pressures come up here. Whisper, 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 whisper. You start to put some of the growl on the whisper as it gets louder. But when you're starting out, just make sure you don't use the throat. And if you don't get it right away, don't feel bad. But what makes this whisper not work is not using your diaphragm. The right way to approach the diaphragm usage is put it this way. If you're trying to swim or something, you're most likely going to go and dive in. You raise your shoulders up, you broaden out your chest, and all the air goes into your chest. You don't want this as a singer. You have an entire torso that you can fill with air, and all that air supplies power for the scream. So what you want to do is you want to keep your shoulders down, and you want to breathe into your stomach. You make a little air baby. Congratulations, you're pregnant. Nice big air baby. And then start the exercise. And then you're going to be screaming like this. Every death metal or whatever screamer screams with a pot belly if they're doing it right. Because they're keeping the air down in the diaphragm. And it just provides most of the power for the scream. Oh, diaphragm exercise, really good way to get get used to using that diaphragm is lay down on the floor and put a couple books on your stomach and try and breathe. Not raising your shoulders. Breathe out with that stomach and raise those books up, and then hold it there, and then raise it down. Lower it down. Sorry, I'm a musician. So next we'll be going to the C method. A lot of people use this. I always like picture. You know how some video game health bars have a C that if like fills up when you're like hitting something. It's a really good way to think about that, because the higher you go into your head and nasal passages with like the air that's being pushed up, the higher the pitch, and then the lower the pitch. This will also coincide with the mouth movements, which I'll cover a little bit later. But so just think of it and you can feel it when you're singing. So when the air goes up is when it is like high, here is intermediate, and down here is low. So I'm gonna like when I scream, I'm gonna point to where I'm like pushing the air. Yeah! It's something that once you practice for a couple months, you really get a sense of where that is. Basically, just if you're starting out, just start with whatever level of scream you're comfortable with, and which prevents hurting your throat the most. But that's how you get the different types of screams. And a great way of starting out, what I didn't even know I could scream until I was listening to like Trapped in the Corner by Death or something. I was just shooting the shit. I was like, well, I was just gonna sing like Chuck, and I can't. I just like started singing, and it started working. So listen, try to sing along with your favorite songs. Don't go all the way through. Don't push yourself. If you feel something wrong in here, if it hurts, stop. Stop right away. Save it for tomorrow or the day after. Don't rush into anything and hurting your voice. It doesn't work. And that's one more thing I would like to cover. I really believe in screamers trying to put a little bit of their voice into the scream. This is a skill you're not going to develop until like at least half a year. But it's why these guys like Chuck Schuldiner and Izan and Randy Blythe, they have such a unique sound, and that's because they're putting a lot of their own voice into the scream. The scream itself is using their nasal passages, but they are so comfortable with using that they can open up their chest, they can open up their voice box, and let some of their voice into the scream without hurting themselves. And it's really hard to explain how to do that, but I prefer not to just do the high fries. I'm not a fan of them because that's where my main voice really comes in. It's almost like adding your falsetto to the scream, and it's all I can describe it as is trying to talk while you're screaming. And if again the voice hurts, don't do it. But listen and try. I'm not saying mock them, but at first try to mock them to get that skill set, and then listen to a couple of different artists. Try to blend them, get your own unique sound. So yeah, this checklist: water and tea with honey and stuff really helps. Drink it before, during, and after practice. Remember to warm up. Do the and the breathing exercises. Run some scales. Randy Blythe does run scales before every single show. I'm sure countless other singers do. Use the diaphragm exercises. The book is a godsend exercise for using. You have no power without using your diaphragm. A lot of people are pissed off about using the diaphragm because they don't know how to do it right. Stop being bitches. Use your diaphragm. If you power without diaphragm, yeah. With diaphragm, yeah, a lot better. So that's about all I have. Any comments? Hate comments? But tell me. I would love to hear what your thoughts are for the video. Check out my other vids. Tell me about some bands you like, some singers you like, some things I should check out. I'll definitely check them out. Please subscribe, and thank you very much.